Hi, beautiful. It's so wonderful to see you. It's wonderful to talk with you. And I'm really glad because today we're going to have a bit of a talk on manifestation. So, in the past, manifestations felt really mystical. It's almost felt like something that was intangible, that was bridging this spirit with this physical reality. And I actually want to talk a little bit today about the shifts we're experiencing in our reality, what this means for manifestation, and how it's even more easy now to deliberately create in your reality. So one of the first things I'm actually going to bring your attention to is to ask you, have you been aware that your preferences are shifting? And what I mean by this is, have you been aware that some of the things you used to like, maybe you don't like them so much anymore? Or have you been aware that some of the things that used to inspire or motivate you, like external factors, don't seem as inspiring or motivating? Or if you do have external factors, they come from a much deeper place, a much more rooted place, deeper than just money or fun or whatever. It's more of a calling, an expansion, something that feels amazing on more than one level. Well, I reflect this to you because we're all going through this shift right now. You see, before we lived in a world that supported a certain kind of energetic experience. For those who follow energy, this might be seen as the chakra, bottom to top, raising your energy kind of experience, where we had our first three chakras in the third dimensions. We had these higher chakras here in the astral, and we would access them by going up and down. Well, this has shifted. This is what's so exciting. This is why a lot of the ways that old things used to work are suddenly not seeming as clear anymore. This is why you feel different, in other words. Now, here's the beautiful part. We're shifting, and we have really shifted into a reality, a world, a space that makes it that much more easy to manifest and deliberately create in your life. And what I mean by easy is, I mean you specifically are in an upgrade in which you can access your whole self much easier. See, in the past, things like meditation and breath were an attempt to calm you down enough, to still you enough, so you could hear yourself. And by hear yourself, I mean hear your, let's call it the higher self, hear your soul, hear source, which allowed you to connect to your divine paths, your purpose, all those things that inspire and delight you in this world, so that you could move forward with excitement, with knowing. And now, this upgrade has brought us to a place where it's even more streamlined, even more simple to communicate with all of ourselves. Because what I will reflect to you is, for most people, when they're going along a path, when they're creating something, a big sticking point for a lot of people has been, well, how do I know what the right choice is? Or how do I know how to trust my intuition? Because a big part of manifesting is being able to receive. A big part of manifesting isn't necessarily the specific creation, it's the ability to receive the creation. And for many people, they get a little stuck in their minds. They get a little stuck in the how. And when you get really stuck in your mind in the how, you sometimes create extra steps. And what I mean by that is, if you really disengaged from the how and you allowed, you'd find these really amazing serendipitous events that flowed into your life. And more importantly, It's not just a receiving. You're able to take inspired action. When you disengage from the how and you're trying to control everything from your mental 3D space, you're able to step into that flow of life. You know, the thought that comes to mind, the metaphor for it, is like in Finding Nemo, the turtles, who were just coasting along this wave, this current under the ocean. And it was peaceful. They were swimming, but they were just shooting through. And if you tried to swim against the current, it would be very hard. But if you flowed with it, you would just be able to experience the flow, the direction, and just accelerate where you wanted to go. And at any moment you wanted that felt good to you, you could just roll out of the current and land where you wanted to be. So in a similar way, stepping into this heart-centered, higher connected flow is the equivalent of being able to manifest with that energy, being able to create, being able to be inspired and not need to know the hows. Now, let me connect something for you here, because I know I just shared a lot of information right there. The how is something of the mind, but what is more powerful than how? It's knowing. We ask the how because we want to know. The how is the space of the mind, and the mind never knows for sure. The mind does not have enough data to know for sure. The mind can analyze and consider and plot and plan, but it cannot know. The heart knows. The heart knows. So the step is to get your information, get the intelligence from the heart, and then you can allow the mind to receive the knowing. Then the mind doesn't have to keep chugging, keep processing. Then when you're working from this heart space, you're in that flow, you're in that current, you're in that space where all of your manifestations, the knowing and the receiving, the creation and the emergence of everything are all happening now. Can you imagine that? That's a state of living where everything is flowing for you right now. See, the difference is the mind needs time. The mind needs time to connect with your manifestations. The heart is creating them now. So when you connect with your heart, you're connecting with your manifestations right now. Does that feel very good to you? Would you like that? Would you like to learn more about that? Well, I ask this with a little bit of a smile because I know you do, because I feel you. I feel us. I feel how excited we are for this new shift. So I'm sharing this video as a bit of an introduction for where all this manifestation talk is going, because I have loved the experiences of things like law of attraction, or I've loved the explanations that have been given before. And now it's time to expand on that. Now it's time for that deeper level of clarity. And I know you feel this with me. I know that you feel it. Even if you haven't stepped into that full knowing yet, I know that in some place you feel the truth of all this.